Hey guys, it's Hurricane Joe. I'm back and I'm here with my studio Les Paul versus Les Paul I ever got. And yes, some of you have been asking questions. It is a custom Les Paul. I swiped out the lead pickup with a Seymour Duncan because back at the time when I was doing some cover bands, if we ever did Dawkins or Rat, this gave the guitar a little bit hotter sound. If we were doing Van Halen, than some of the standard rock band stuff that we used to cover. So it worked great. But what I want to talk about today is, again, part two on the Jimmy Page influence on Steve Clark, especially when it came to leads. One thing I learned when trying to cover Page, I would shy away from doing Zeppelin songs because even though I could get some of the leads right as far as what notes he was playing, to me I never really sounded like Jimmy because I couldn't get his feel down. And then that taught me an important lesson, and especially it helped me with learning Steve's style, is sometimes it's more important to get the feel than it is to memorize note for note what they're actually playing. And once you get the feel down, you can actually capture the essence of the player and sound like him no matter what, than trying to be so mechanical getting the notes, because you know what? They vary it up from night to night. They don't play the same exact solo night for night, but they sound the same every time because they have the feel. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples like that, how they took standard licks, varied them up a little bit, but it gave a certain feel, and then when you hear it, you're like, yeah, I know that's Jimmy Page, and you hear Steve, yeah, I know that's Steve Clark. The first example I want to show you for Jimmy Page was on Black Dog, and he did a cool run on this that I used to like. It was, you hear that? Now, what he's doing right there is he has a standard lick that he likes to use where if you're in the A position or the 5th position, you bend from the G string a full step, then you play the E string on the 5th fret, the bend of the G string was on the 7th fret, then you play the E string on the 5th fret, then you do a pull off from the 8th to the 5th fret on the B string, then you do a hammer on the G string from the 7th to the 5th, then you do a hammer on from the D string from the 7th to the 5th. So it's, and when you do it like that, and it sounds cool, and he plays those licks several times. He also did that same run on the Immigrant Song, you know. That same thing, same lick. And it's cool. Now, am I playing exactly what Jimmy played there? No. But it sounds like him on the lick because I got his timing where he starts and where he ends and figured out the lick. And it's the same thing you could do with Steve Clark, even though as precise as he was, because he was a classically trained musician, he had a lick that he liked to run on a lot of his lead solos. The one that everyone loves is his live solo for Die Hard the Hunter. My personal favorite is his Lady Strange solo, the one that he did in the 80s, before the High and Dry one, but the one he did during the On Through the Night tour. I think it's a great solo. He does the same lick. And you also, the first time you hear him do it, I think on album, is the Get Your Rocks Off, which is in G minor. So I'm going to show you real quick how it goes. Now, what it is, now, is that exactly what he's playing? No. But it sounds like him so much, well, at least to me, because you got his timing down. Now, what he's doing is he does the natural minor scale, which is not the pentatonic. That's why I keep saying he is a mode player, not really a blues player, where he does this scale. Let's say if it's a G, I'm going to play it up here. It's easy. And what he does is, he does a... That's pretty much what he does, and he runs up that scale. Now, he varies it a little bit, but once you get the timing right, and you make sure you start on the root, that's it. And right here, instead of starting on this, he starts on the bend. So... And that's it right there. Where does he do it again? On the Die Hard the Hunter solo, on the second part at the end, where he goes. that again, he does that same run, going up it again, going down the natural minor scale. For the Lady Strange solo, which is in C sharp, the same exact lick. This, when you get it down, don't concentrate when you're listening on it, getting note for note. I'm never going to discourage that, but it's much more important to get his feel down and recognize that, and then you'll sound like he does every night, instead of sounding exactly what he did one particular night. And that's what Steve, again, borrowed from Page. Get the feel for him, you'll get his essence, you'll hear his style, much more than try to imitate him exactly. So I hope this helped you out a little bit. If you have any questions, please leave a comment in the comment section. Thanks for all your support over the years. Hurricane Joe.